All right, guys, don't get nervous. I'm not going to be here long. Okay, Dina's here. She's going to be here any minute. I just, actually, first of all, welcome to a Foreign Affairs live webcast here, Monday nights. My name is John Adams, co-owner of Foreign Affairs. I'm accompanied by Anna, who will be your co-host here tonight, and Dina will be here momentarily. But I want to sit in the beginning of the show to introduce a video that's very special to all of us here. About 3 years ago, we brought to you a very inspiring story about David and Nina, a couple who both suffered some private loss in their lives, and especially for David at least, pretty much thought his life was over. And he was persuaded by his family to actually take the tour and go over just to get out, just to go and experience something, and he did. And during the tour, and you'll see in the video, because we're going to play a video that talks about this more, but he was lucky enough to find his second half again. He found Nina in Poltava, and he ultimately married her and moved to Poltava. This was a few years ago. And he had called me a few times during that time period and shared with me how happy he was, how unbelievable this opportunity, this second chance at life was for him. The two of them, well, Nina had two young children, and then when they married, they had a third child together. This was something that was unexpected for David and made him extremely happy. And it was a great story. It was very inspirational, and we were so happy to bring it to you. And we get tons and tons of great inspirational stories, but this one just touched us a little bit. And when we aired it a few years ago, we got a lot of positive remarks from everyone, and they talked about how it helped them to move forward and all that great stuff. Unfortunately, last week, David was hospitalized a few weeks ago in the Ukraine with COVID, and last week he passed away. And it's really sad, right? But it's part of life. And we don't want to focus on the sad part. We want to celebrate the happiness that him and Nina, David and Nina found. And we just thought that we would do a video here and share it with you. Joe was on the tour with him. He was the tour leader, and he was instrumental in helping David meet Nina. So Joe's in this video you're going to see here in a minute, and he explains a little bit about what happened. And she's a wonderful woman, and now she's there with their three children, and it's tough in Ukraine. It was their hope, their desire, and they were in the middle of working on doing all the paperwork and everything necessary to bring those children back here to the United States so that they could go to school here and have a life here. And Nina's still trying to do that. We have set up a GoFundMe page. If this is something that you were inspired by or will be inspired by and you'd like to contribute to it, please feel free. We're just trying to do what we can in a small way to help them, okay? We don't do this very often. I think this is the first time in 26 years that we've set up a GoFundMe page for anyone. But this couple was very special. All couples are special, right? But their story, when you hear their story, you'll see why it's touched so many people. And so take a look at it, guys, see what you think. Dina's going to be coming back in here right after the video. I'm leaving. They wouldn't even let me on. I had to beg to come on for this, so, wasn't easy. Yeah.
Oh, come
on. And they're kicking me out right away here. So, but they'll have wonderful things to talk about tonight. And for those of you guys that have signed up to visit us in Las Vegas here in another week and a half, whatever it is, really looking forward to that. That's just about filled up. So if you really want to try and do that, you better get your reservation in, I would say, no later than the next couple days, because you're going to see sold out on that here real soon. Okay? All right. Well, please look at the video. And remember, we're celebrating the happiness that they had together. That's what this is about. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We have a very special video for you here today. Actually, it's probably one of the most difficult videos that I've ever had to do, but we think it's something that is important because it speaks to something that was very inspirational, I think, to everyone, and I think still is, and we want to talk about it today. And so 3 years ago, we did a very special video about their story because it was a really, really cool story. And actually, Joe, why don't you recap it for a little bit, because you got to know David very well. I've talked to him several times. He's a wonderful guy, but you've talked to both Dave and Nina.
David was on one of our tours back in 2018, and the girls in the office noticed that he wasn't interested in dating at all. So I sat down with him. He told me his story. He had previously lost his wife, and a few months later he lost his daughter, both to cancer. You know, my heart went out to him when he told me. So I didn't want to push him. So we figured we'd we'd give him one of the girls to take him around, be a tour guide, that sort of thing. But he did go to the socials just to be with the guys. That was in Kiev, and then we were going on to Poltava afterwards. And again, he didn't want to go to Poltava.
Yeah, he just wasn't going to go.
He just didn't want to go. He wanted to stay in Kiev, and I convinced him to go. It's a nice small town. There's lots to see. So he went, and he went to the social that night. And again, wallflower. Wasn't interested in really dating too much. And then he met a woman there. He was introduced to, and it turned out she had a similar story. She lost her husband, and also to cancer. And it turned out that she lost her husband the same time he lost his wife and daughter to the same cancer too. So they had a lot in common. They spoke. She gave Dave his number, and the party was over that night, and Dave didn't call her. But she called him and demanded to know, why didn't you call me? He just thought, he said, well, I just thought we were just having a moment, nothing serious or anything. And she, I guess she convinced him otherwise, so they started correspondence. He went back, and to make a long story short, he ended up getting married. He moved to Poltava.
Right.
And they had a baby in 2019.
But this one struck a chord just for everything Joe just said, for both of their pasts, and then for them to find each other and come together. Was an amazing story. And I had a lot of you guys calling me, telling me how it touched you, how it inspired you, how it helped you. Unfortunately, David contracted COVID, and he was in the hospital for several weeks in Poltava because he moved there. He was living there with her, and their new family together with the newborn. And Nina had two young children, right, from a previous marriage, and David was in the process of adopting them, and then COVID struck. And he was in the hospital for, about 4 weeks or so. And, they were trying to help him and do the best they can, but unfortunately he passed away just a couple days ago.
I've been speaking to her since he went into the hospital, and you're right, he was in the hospital for about 3 or 4 weeks. What's amazing is the day before it happened, she said that, spoke to David, the blood work seems to be looking better. He was just, he looks like it's getting better. Then it just worsened overnight, and the next morning she messaged me that he passed away. So, yeah, we all know how hard it is to, it's hard here raising 3 kids on your own. I couldn't imagine raising 3 kids over in Ukraine. But yeah, whatever anyone can send in. I spoke to her, to let her know that we would like to do this, and she's really appreciated that we're able to do it. So, whatever you can give.
That they got to meet, they got to spend time together, they got to love each other, and I think we should celebrate that I think that's just fantastic, right? And we shouldn't just think about, how it ended, because to me it hasn't ended. It's going to go on. They had a daughter together, and he made an impact on her other two children, and they were all close. It's obvious from the photos and everything that you see. And so, be happy for them. And if you get any inspiration from this, that's great, because I think you should. Because he was a big inspiration for me, even to see how he was able to go through, carry on after the tragedy that he went through with his first wife and daughter. So to me, that's huge. It's inspirational, and it should be for all of us. All right, guys. Till next time, be safe out there, guys. Okay, you just never know. Be thankful for all the time you got. You just never know. So be safe, and if we can help you in any way, feel free to give us a call. Thank you.
Yeah, it is, very sad story, but on the other hand, look how, what a touching video. Look at those girls, how they're, hugging David. It's just, very heartwarming. And yeah, guys, so if you want to, use this link for GoFundMe account, you can find it below the description for this video. Also, you can find it on the members page, after the webcast. So, if you want to help the family out somehow, you don't want to do it right now, or you cannot do it right now, you can always go back to it. It's going to be there for about a month, I think, or whatever the expiration date on the GoFundMe account. So you can always do it there, and just once it's over, we're gonna give it to David's family. I'm sure they could really use it. So let's see what we have on the comments here.
Good evening, guys.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I totally got consumed by the story.
And, I just found out today. It was such a tragedy. I remember last year that David and Nina, I was so amazed that story. Just it should go to Hollywood. I think for the movie, but such a bad, I don't have anything
Yeah,
to
those two
say,
lonely people, but they managed to find each other, and it's still about to happen. It's the journey of them together. Well, let's see what we have here. From Mark, what can I do to help with the GoFundMe since I don't get paid until next Tuesday? Well, as I mentioned, you can find a link for that in the description for the video, or go back to your members page whenever you're ready. From Sly, such a shocking story. It is. From Ed, from Maryland, my question is, what is your age limit?
We have no age limit. We have a client who is 80 years old, 82, and
yeah, as far
they
as
still
if
are
you're
clients,
asking, if you're asking about what's a max age limit for our clients, the reason we don't really discriminate against age, so anybody at any age are welcome to join the agency and search for life partners. If you're asking for women, every country usually has their requirements and general preferences. So if you're looking for a country with the largest age gap, probably Philippines. The women the most open-minded when it comes to that. Other than that, Ukraine, Colombia would be about. Women usually say that they would prefer to meet a man with of the same generation, so let's just have something common, similar life values, like life stories, life experiences. I guess the narrowest gap I've seen would be Peru. Usually women prefer not to go for more than 10 years age gap, even 5 sometimes actually, so it really depends on the person. Costa Rica is about the same, 10-15 years as a normal age gap. Hopefully that answers your question.
very sad story from Dave. Okay, from Roy, from rural Washington State. Good evening, wonderful ladies. If I meet a woman that I want to marry, bring her back on a fancy visa, and we agree to get married, is it better for us to get married in the U.S. or in her home country? And by better, I mean which way will speed up getting her to the U.S. to live?
Yeah, also the thing is, if you do get married in your country, you'll not be eligible for a fiancé visa. So fiancé visa is like one-time visa, so it's so a lady can enter the United States and at one time, so she cannot go back and forth. So when she comes here, you guys do need to get married here. So you cannot, she cannot stay here for 90 days, check it out, how she likes it or not like it, and then two of you go back to whatever her country is and get married there. If you do want to get married in her country, then it will be different type of visa. That will be a spousal visa, which usually takes a little longer than fiancé visa, and the reason is it actually comes with a green card, so the check on it a little bit more extensive than on a fiancé visa. But again, in the end, the perk of it when she comes here, she will pretty much get a green card automatically. But then again, fiancé visa is better because she has time and opportunity to see whether she likes living here. So she has this little trial period. Because despite all those stereotypes that women can just can't wait to jump on a plane, come here and get this green card, and no, that is not the case. And I know quite a few cases when women didn't like it. They were too homesick. They didn't like where they end up. The state, the place, the city. They just would want to go back, or just relationship didn't work out. Because when you're dating, it's one thing. I think you all would agree with me as far as dating and living together. It's a little bit two different experiences actually. So so let her experience that. Come here, see how she likes it. And a lot of women who do want to have weddings in their countries because they can invite their family members. It's very important for them. To have the family support. So in this case, what you can do, you can just do the legal process here. Just have get married here. But once she gets her paperwork and when she can travel overseas again, when she gets her green card or whatever it is, two of you can go back to her her country and do the celebration for the friends, the family. Just the wedding itself, so white dress, and even though you technically will be married, but still just postpone the celebration. That will be my solution.
Yeah, I would definitely, even in that COVID situation, I think a fiancé visa will be much faster than wife visa, and it's like more options there. So yeah, she can come here. She has 90 days to decide if she would like to stay here or go back home, and and you can guys do it. And she doesn't like her and she will leave. You can do it again with wife. How do you call wife visa? Spousal visa. Yeah, you'll have to get a divorce before you even try to find somebody else. It'll be a lot of problems.
And actually, that brings a good point. So if somehow things don't work out, you do need to go through divorce process, and it's complicated here, as a lot of you guys know. Or if you guys split up, she goes back to Ukraine. So you imagine dealing with the whole divorce process when your soon-to-be ex-wife in a different country. It's a whole another set of paperwork. So you probably don't want to complicate your life that way.
Yeah, fiancé visa much faster, much easier. So, and a lot of choices, give you and her when she come here. So, yes.
From Ernie, good evening, John and Anna. We're remembering John, his family, and concerned with thoughts and prayers. I'm thinking David. You're talking about David, but from James from Australia, condolences to Nina and her family. And another one from sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, from Ernie, heart-rendering story of how precious life is. David understood this and lived life to its fullest. What an inspiration. Yeah, I was going to say that, he found, last energy. He lost his wife, his daughter, he so much for him was like, get himself together and just go on the fly, and go to Ukraine to find a new wife.
And get not only wife, but also 3 children out of it.
Yeah.
And you can tell again on the video what a good father he was. Just the way those girls look at him, even though, they're a little shy on camera, but you can see how they're just leaning towards him.
Yeah, I'm sure he lived last what, how many years? 1, 2?
So he's been married for a few years.
Couple years. It was the best years of his life. So guys, if you're still thinking about it, just, you know, think about it again and just hurry up. Life is so short and so precious.
True. We all think we can, we're gonna live forever. Delay. Delay life, and and again, especially in this country, I noticed that a lot. People just think, oh, I'm gonna do this when I retire. I'm gonna do this and this, and not now, but whatever number of years from now, I'll have time to do it. Coming from Eastern European culture, where people are more, I guess, fatalistic, and nothing's given. You don't expect. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. So you're trying to, live life to the fullest in the moment. So just, a little bit different point of view. So yeah, if you guys, again, thinking about going and meeting, somebody special, starting a new life with someone else by your side, don't delay it. From Erin again, good evening, Anna and Dina. Well, good evening, Ernie. And from Wesley, what are the odds of July tour to Ukraine? Well, that's, if I knew the odds, I'd be, gambling in Vegas, right? So far it looks good. So far we look like we're complying with local guidelines on social events. So knock on wood, we should be okay, unless they change the requirements, like they did last year. But hopefully we're gonna be okay. So that's all I can say.
Jeff, that's really sad story. It is.
From Paul, do you find there to be more serious women in the rural area of Ukraine opposed to cities like Odessa and Kiev? Well,
I heard that rumors from Joel, our tour leader, for different cities, not Odessa and Kiev. I mean, he going to Odessa and Kiev, I think, too, but he going to Dnipro and Zaporozhye, and it's his favorite cities because he said girls down to earth there, so...
And I do agree with him on that in a way. I mean, of course, you cannot judge an entire population of Kiev or Odessa, over a million in Odessa and 6 million
biggest city
Kiev.
there, so girls from the smaller cities go to work there, so it's not all of them from that big cities.
Well, the only thing is, those cities like Odessa and Kiev, it's very easy to get to them, so most of the guys go in there because of the locations, because of logistics. And we do have more profiles in those destinations, so those locations have a lot of traffic, and those girls being asked out all the time because, well, that's where guys go. And how many guys a year I have going to Dnipro? Less than a dozen, really. That's taken, individual tour, group. Well, okay, group tour we didn't have, so. Or it doesn't have to be Dnipro, just a lot of smaller cities. Guys just don't want to trouble with traveling to such locations. They're comfortable in Kiev, they're comfortable in Odessa. It's a great place to visit. I love both cities very much. But I do agree somewhat that you can find more down to earth women in other locations that are as popular.
From Sean, man, that sucks. I'm sorry for this, David. I'd seen his story last year, and it was a really good love story. It was a good love story. Yeah, agree.
From Mark and Dina, that story really touched me, and it's such a sad thing to happen. It is, and again, it is a terrible loss for his family. It's good that they had, a few years of happiness, and those girls had a father to raise them. So I'm sure, he will be a good role model regardless in their life.
Sean, COVID is, he contracted it in March, and it was a nightmare for more than a week. Yeah, guys, I heard a lot of stories. Some had none. I mean, people who had the COVID, some had none. And good friend of mine, he passed away of COVID, and it was such a tragedy. He was such a happy man and family man and good father, grandfather, and he died from COVID. It was such a tragedy for all of us. So yeah, I'm sorry for you if you lost somebody in the COVID. I'm so sorry.
So when you guys traveling abroad, just still be careful. A lot of us are vaccinated, and international travel is becoming safer and safer. More countries opening up. But again, still use caution. Which is actually brings the next question from Dennis. What are travel updates interested for Philippines? Well, Philippines are slowly opening up, so you can foreign travel is allowed now. Just keep in mind there is 7 days quarantine requirement, so you have to be quarantined in one of the approved government approved hotels. So you would need to show off your reservation fully paid when you arrive to airport. Manila or Cebu, Philippines, or Davao, whatever it is you go in. So yeah, you'd have to be there for 7 days. After that, you're all set to free and you can proceed meeting women and all that happy stuff. Pretty much similar situation in Thailand, 7 days quarantine upon arrival. The same thing after that, you can proceed with your plans. All other destinations still the same. You can travel to Colombia, you can travel to Costa Rica. Peru you can travel to, but besides taking a COVID test prior to the trip, you also would need to take a test on the first day after you arrive, otherwise you will be in quarantine. So it's just a little more complicated in Peru, but it's still doable. The next one.
From Terry, are less women going to be at the tours event even after COVID is under control?
Well, this year we're definitely going to have less women at social. It is what it is. In order to follow the local guidelines and provide a safe environment for everybody to meet. Yeah, so we definitely will have less women that we normally do. What's going to be next year? I don't know. I'm not planning. I'll be happy as long as we just have a tour to begin with.
Yeah, every day is something different, happen or changing or rules, every day is different. Just, stay in touch. We'll let you know. I think so.
From LTH, do you still need the Ukrainian phone and app to enter Ukraine? Actually, there's some requirements changed about a month ago, or maybe less. So a while ago, you could take a test upon arrival and download the app. But it's no longer an option, so you would have to take a test before you go. But they changed it, so before you'd have to take 48 hours prior to your arrival, or you do one upon arrival. Now it's mandatory test within 72 hours prior to arrival in Ukraine, not departure, but arrival. So just guys pay attention to that. And this way, you don't have to get an app, you don't have to get Ukrainian phone numbers, less headache actually.
From Anthony, and people say the virus is hoax.
Yeah, a lot of people have different opinions on the subject, so I guess better not to comment. I'd rather not to comment.
Yeah, I think people who, they never met nobody who suffered from that COVID so bad or lost somebody. Yeah, they can say that, but you cannot say that after you see all that, what's happening to people during the virus. Even emotionally, people it was bad for some people, really, to just stay inside the house or apartments for a year. It was a year, even a little more than a year. So even emotionally it was hard, but somebody who lost, loved ones, it was tragedy.
From McKissick, my condolences to David's family.
From Dave, yes, I have family relatives that still say COVID just a flu. I try to keep telling them it's not. India is having big problems right now. The announcement from the CDC, I think it's too early.
Yeah. From Patrick, hi and Dina, do you verify profiles of affiliate agencies in Mexico? How would you rate the experience of clients visiting Mexico versus Colombia and Peru? Well, we do verify all the profiles regardless of what location they registered. So we still definitely do it, and actually we do it now also with video call. Back in the day, we'd verify only with a phone call. So besides collecting a woman's passport information, besides calling her on the phone and verifying what she submitted in her profile, now we also do the quick video call to make sure that's really her. Because especially with the pandemic, not too many women can come to office, and it's probably not a good idea anyway. So we just can do a quick Skype call or just FaceTime or whatever it is they can do to verify that's they're real, they're interested. As far as the success rate, Colombia, Peru, and Mexico. Well, actually, today we got an email from a couple that just got married there in Mexico. They met recently last year. Mexico got married. We do have higher success rate for Colombia simply because we have much bigger operations there. In Mexico, we don't have an AFA office. We partner with an affiliate agency, so they will probably have more information on the number of marriages that they had. So, but it's easier for us, obviously, keep track of what's going on in Colombia as far as marriages, because again, it's our staff. All the ladies registered through the office. They all came to the office, or again, back in the days they came to the office, or we did the video call. And the staff knows ladies personally. It's easier for them to do matchmaking in Colombia than, a lot of other destinations. It's very popular too. A lot of guys go in there because it's much shorter flight compared to Peru. Peru is a great destination. I absolutely love it. Women are fantastic, but one of the problems is a little further away. It's a longer flight, a little bit more expensive. So guys would need to take, more time off to travel there. And, but still, if you guys can make it to Peru, you absolutely should. And also in Colombia, we do have 3 offices versus 1 office in Peru. So that will be it.
From Makisik, my first priority is Colombia because of the course. Easy of learning Spanish and approximately, but the Ukraine is looking better and better.
Well, Ukraine always looks great, but as far as language learning, yeah, Spanish definitely easier than Russian, I can say.
Let's see.
From Dave, I think Ukraine is yellow. Yes, Ukraine's on yellow on COVID status now. Can you explain? So David, basically, everything. It means that everything's open as far as the restaurants and fitness clubs and all that happy stuff. So everything operates as usual. They still have to follow the protocols as far as wearing a mask and try to keep the social distancing. The only thing that's restricted under yellow status is that public events, which in our case are social. So we are supposed to have one person per 20 square meter. I believe that's. So, and also, events like wedding, is not supposed to have more than 50 guests, and all this. And for a lot of events, you need to have a special approval if it's more than 50 people. But again, none of it will really, apply to you. And other than the guys that's taking a tour with us and go to social, the yellow status will really not affect guys who's traveling individually to meet ladies.
Anthony, are men less serious from urban or rural areas? I can say.
Yeah, I know. That's people are different.
Yeah, everybody's different. You cannot say that from this area men is less serious or girls.
I guess you guys answered that question for us. If you're from rural area or if you're from a city, and how serious are you? Waiting for your answers. From Colorado Hiker, can I fly to Ukraine from the US with one-way ticket? Some countries require round trip with a tourist visa. So good news, you can just purchase one-way ticket. It's probably going to be a little more expensive than average round-trip flight, but yeah, go for it. There's no requirement. So you're not going to ask for when you live in the country. Just make sure you return in less than 90 days, since the date when you arrive in Ukraine. So.
Good for you. You'll have plenty of time to choose a wife or fiancé. From Brian, hi Anna, hi Dina. What is the status on Thailand? On a positive note, what's going on with the shoe contest? Well, we'll hear from Leonardo for sure, but Anna just said before that would they have quarantine still?
So for Thailand, 7 days. You would have to be quarantined upon arrival. So if you're comfortable with that, if you have obviously more than 7 days that you can travel to, then go for it. Obviously need to take a test and all that. But Thailand's getting very, very close to opening up completely. So if you're not comfortable with 7 days quarantine, just wait a little longer. It's gonna be open soon. Hang in there.
Well, shoe contest, we decided to do it next Monday. This way you can, still send us pictures who still want it.
Yeah, a lot of guys,
have
you know,
the
want to
time.
participate, ask for a little extension. So, all right,
We
let's
want
just do
more
that.
pictures, more guys. So yeah, we'll give you one more week. Next Monday, guys.
Yeah,
we'll
we've been
do
looking
that.
through those pictures with Dina today for everybody who entered the contest. We had such a hard time deciding because a lot
Guys,
of
you
cool stuff.
impressed me. Nice shoes, but we want more. So we'll have more
There are enough
competition
shoes.
there. Yeah.
All right.
So next Monday, guys.
From Dean, the story of David and Nina is incredible. I showed that video to friends who might be interested in international dating and will continue to do so. It's clear that this last few years were some of the best of David's life, and that he set his wife and daughters up for a bright future as he continues to watch over them. What do you recommend saying or not saying to friends who might be interested in AFA and international dating? Well, they just probably should stop listening to the common stereotypes, you know, horror stories, and just go experience it for themselves. I don't think no matter what you're gonna say, you know, it's gonna, you know, change their mind until they actually come to the country and, you know, meet people for themselves and just experience that.
Yes, I was going to say same. Do not listen nobody. Just go there and see it for yourself. You know, it obviously you need to do that. Yes, show the video. Look at how happy David was. It was the happiest last of few years of his life. And now he has a daughter, you know, who can, you know, be like what we say. We have a kids. We are like we never die. So he will live in her. Oh, such a sad story. Yes, do not listen nobody. Tell them don't listen nobody. Just go for it. Try.
Yeah, and form your own opinion.
In the worst case, you will have the amazing trip to a new country. You see new people, new you know, surrounding. It's what could be better. And if you're lucky, you will find a wife or fiancé. You know, and you will be happy as a man. You know, in the world. What's wrong with that?
From Bradford, hi Anna, send you my shoes photos when you have time to review them. Let me know how you rate them on scale 1 to 10. Well, I'm not gonna rate on a scale of 1 to 10 because again, it's very subjective. I did get your photos, I did like your shoes. As far as, I mean, I don't think I'm comfortable rating it 1 to 10, you know, we're not in school. But
From Tom, Anna, I thought I read the comments from USCIS that once the K1 fiancé visa is submitted, and if not approved, the applicant will have to wait 2 years before reapplying. So, make it count.
well, it's actually, you can file for, 2 fiancé visas. You don't have to wait for 2 years to file for a new one, but it is 2 visas per each 2 years. Which is probably fine, you know, so just think about it, you know, it's gonna take, if it doesn't work out with the first girl, you probably need some time to, well, recover from the relationship, because, you know, from the person with whom you're engaged, and, you know, it will take time to find a new one and fall in love and, you know, get engaged again, so, I mean, I think it's not really a bad rule.
Yeah, 2 years just enough for you to, you know, get yourself together and find another girl. And by the time you're ready to apply for fiancé, it will be exactly 2 years. But can you imagine how many years it will take you to reapply after you have a divorce? You know, if you apply for a spousal visa, it will be much longer.
From Jeff, my schedule has changed. I haven't been able to catch a Monday show, but I'm on vacation this week, so it's good and bad show. Well,
Good job.
all
Have a
right.
nice
Well, I'm
vacation.
glad you
Where are
enjoyed
you? Joe, do you know the name of the hotel the guys will be staying in for the Kiev tour in July? Of course, Anna knows.
Anna
because
knows,
she going a
but
bit
it
tour
is-
later.
Yeah, I do know, but we prefer usually to, you know, have it available
It's a
for the tour.
secret?
Well, I mean, you know, it just makes sense, you know, to, you know, just not to mix people. You know, we prefer group staying in a.
There's a hint.
It's not a huge
the
secret.
biggest
but-
hotel in Kiev, right?
No,
5
it's not-
star.
no. Well, I mean, maybe I can book
Just
something
kidding,
for myself,
just
but
kidding.
you know, I mean, a lot of guys know where it is, but they would still prefer not to disclose a lot of, you know, such information, just to keep the group separated, not to mix experiences. It's not like, you know, in the past we did have quite a few cases when guys that were not part of a tour would just try to crash a war room and just, you know, destruct our stuff and all that. So it's just especially when guys just arrive in town, the staff doesn't remember their faces just yet. It's gonna take a day or two for, you know, for everybody to remember each other. So it can be a little confusing. So I'd rather keep the, you know, crowd separate.
Okay, guys, didn't work. I thought it's not a secret. I think I told everybody before.
Well, again, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, you know, our stuff is pretty good.
But they might change hotel.
I mean, actually, it could be the case. I mean, I like where we're staying now. It's okay, but there are a few other hotels in the area that we're considering. So after this tour, we'll see. You know, we'll see where we're at.
It's going to be good hotel, anyway. So, from day to day, with multiple sclerosis. I have to walk with canes and crutches. I'm thinking that won't appeal to Ukrainian women on dating event.
You'll be surprised. I did have a few clients, you know, using canes and crutches, you know, throughout, you know, with my experience doing tours to Ukraine, and they were really doing fine. Actually, I was amazed how well they were doing. So yeah, I mean, that's, I don't think that should, you know, should have much of an effect. From Dennis, do Ukrainian women look down on Americans at all because of your stereotypes?
What kind of stereotypes?
I don't think the Ukrainian women look down on Americans, and what stereotypes? I mean, what, other than eating McDonald's?
No.
I don't know. I just really don't know what stereotypes.
Everybody's different, so, you know, no, they're not.
From Mark, so I'm guessing that the women are registering via phone call because of pandemic. Well, they have to, you know, if they're not coming to the office physically, yes, they do have to send an email, you know, fill out the questionnaire, you know, send their photographs. They still have to attach the copy of their passport and go through the rest of the verification process after we get their application. In this case, it can be a phone call and a video call, so both of that. Because we're adding more and more layers of verification throughout the year. It used to be only a phone call, and besides passport, of course, again, it used to be only a phone call. Now it's a video call, and we also try to record a short video of each woman, you know, getting her a video consent that she agrees to be on the website and all that.
From Chuck, for travel to Ukraine, is the COVID test required 72 hours before the departure or prior to arrival in Ukraine? The U.S. Embassy says 72 hours before departure. Who is right?
It is 72 hours prior to your arrival, guys. I did have a few guys having some difficulties because their test was 72 hours prior to departure. So just play it safe and take a test, you know, within 72 hours prior to your arrival. Many airports in the United States offer rapid test sites, so you can just do it at the airport. Just check with your local airport what they have. Go to their website. It's just the website. There might be a little extra fee for that. It is what it is, but you know.
Okay, let me finish. It matters if I would leave from California and then fly through at 10 hours time difference.
So that's what I'm saying. Yes, it would. You know, yes, it would matter this way. If you and LAX definitely they do test at the airport. So just make an appointment at LAX or whatever it is you're flying from. You know that you will come in a few hours earlier that you would normally show up at the airport. And again, for the most of airports, test results already within an hour or two. Just plan, you know, plan the timing right. You know, just calculate. Call if you have any questions or concerns. Talk to the people at the rapid test sites at the airport.
So a lot of places just walk-in places so for tests now. So maybe on the way to a airport if you don't want to do it.
Well, the problem is getting test results. Like if you go to Walgreens, they say like 3 business days. So it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be sufficient.
It's a lot of rapid tests now. Yeah, like everywhere.
It also has to be PCR test, guys. Keep that in mind. It has to be PCR test. From Daryl, hi ladies, I'm glad the gentleman asked about Mexico. There are a lot of beautiful Mexican ladies on AFA website, and I have wondered why AFA does not have tour there. Also, can AFA facilitate the executive match service with the ladies from Mexico? Thanks, Brian. Yes, we can definitely include Mexican part, in the executive program. Just talk to me a little bit more about it. There are some details, some nuances about it. As far as why don't we have tours, well, in order to do a group tour, we do need to have a lot of profiles. Right now, we have a few dozens of women available. But again, our socials usually a few hundred women, plus we need to have enough women for individual introductions. So we need to have a really, really solid, big database. Right now, the operations there is just not that large, so we'll not be able to put together a large tour at this time.
From Aziz, how about me? I'm from Indonesia. I'm 50 years old. I hope we get 25 to 30-year-old woman. Can I get woman from for wife there? Where you wanna go?
Well, I mean, again, depends on the destination, because it's significant age gap. So in some countries it can be more challenging than others. So probably destination matters in this case. And also there will be a lot of other factors involved, so it's really hard to answer, how will it work for you or
we
not.
We won't recommend more than a 20-year age difference, because you have to have same things in common, chemistry, and we think it will be easier if it's no more than 20-year age difference. So, and I think you will be okay with 30-year-old woman still.
From Colorado Hiker, is Roost Hotel near the AFA office? Well, it's about 20 minutes, about 20-minute walk. I mean, 15, depends how fast you walk.
He asking you, is it Roost Hotel?
Yeah, well, it's near AFA office, so Roost is about 20-minute walk from AFA office.
Ernie, day to day, your condition is not who you are. Do your best to be presentable and gentleman, and the woman will gravitate toward you.
Sure, I completely agree.
We always saying it.
From Tom, and I know I already won the shoe contest. I will be nice send off for me to Maddie in Thursday, May 27th. Actually, Tom, you definitely, you're out there on the top of, we haven't picked, but you're definitely in top 5. Let's put it this way. At least so far. More guys will send their, their pictures probably before Friday. So see, the situation might change, but you're definitely out there. Colorado Hiker, what would be recommended hotel near AFA office in Kiev? Well, it depends how much you want to walk. So the close, it's about 20 minutes. As far as other hotels, Krishchadik is about less than 5 minutes. It's on the corner of the office almost. Dnipro is about 5-7 minute walk. What else there? Pontiac, about 5-minute walk. Roost 20 minutes. Aloft is about 20 minutes. Hyatt 5-7 minutes. What's a Premier Palace, about 15. So just basically to make it easier for you, office is on Independence Square. So if you locate Independence Square on the map, here we go. We look for hotels near Independence Square.
From Michael, can you update me on a travel to China?
I wish I could, but there is no updates. So sad news, there is no news. So, from Edward, for the upcoming July tour to Ukraine, will ladies from cities near our tour cities travel to meet us? For example, will ladies from Poltava or Sumy travel to Kharkov? Where in Kharkov? I see it's only $5 bus ride from Sumy to Kharkov. Those times are long gone when women would take a bus. If she's serious, wouldn't she spend $5? Well, first of all, if she comes from another city to meet you, you'll be paying for her travel arrangements, and most likely it's not gonna be a bus. So so yeah, guys, if you've been writing to some women from outside of your destination, everything's possible. We can schedule it as long as she is willing to travel. But women definitely don't want to, invest their own money and just go for, for a date when they don't even know a man that well. They know that this man is meeting, dozens of other women. So why would she, spend significant chunk of $5? $5 is a lot of money. $5 there, $5 back. It's $10. She would need to work like 3 days, to earn it. So why would she, invest, all her time and money? Maybe, okay, not all, but still. So basically, they will be expecting you to pay for their travel expenses, whatever the expenses are. So think twice before you offer this to all the women on the website.
From Peter, I have been to the Ukraine 3 times and a member of this site. All it takes one winning lottery.
It's what I always say. Yes, I completely agree. It's still a lottery. But more lottery tickets you buy, and higher chances you're gonna win. From Dave, you have to experience life now, don't wait. You never know what tomorrow will bring. If you're undecided on booking a tour, do it. Only with AFA's help will fight for your own happiness. I believe, Dave, you're scheduled actually for my July tour, so yeah, good recommendation.
Oh, Dave. John will love you.
I looked at my July tour guides and like, oh, I know at least half of each names. I've already been on the tour with half of you guys, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
sure.
do it, guys.
I still have
it's
two more
only
spots
you.
for this.
Yes, agree with our little help.
True.
Yeah, you just have to go. That's only what you need. We will help you with everything else. Let's see, from John. My thanks to John for sharing the story with us. No questions tonight, but one bit of news. For guys who need to obtain a passport for the first time or to renew, I learned this week that the U.S. Department of State is not permitting rush service by passport companies. Hence, it's 4 to 6 week wait. This was an unpleasant surprise for me. I mentioned this in case others had not heard it.
Actually, true. I was talking to one of my clients today, and I was going to mention that about delays in passports. So those of you guys that think about going on a tour have not applied for passport yet, you better go do it soon. So, for example, one of my clients, he applied for passport in the second half of April, and it's still not done, and he keeps checking with them. So today they told him, well, about 10 more weeks, guys. So God only knows. It's really delayed right now. Visas are delayed also, so I don't even know how long really a fiancé visa takes now. But yeah, as far as passports, apply for passport right now. Passport good for 10 years. You can get it now, and whenever you're ready to use it, even if you're not going on a tour till like next year, for example, get the passport now. It's not gonna burn your pocket. From Alan, is there minimum income amount needed in order to apply for K1 visa for a woman who has no children and a woman with children? Well, so minimal amount is what I believe it's 125% of poverty level for for federal level, I believe. So you can just check on the website, see what it is, and multiply it. So make sure it's 125% for household of 2 people. So you and your fiance, if she's bringing kids, then number is gonna be a little higher, but again, the numbers are there, so you can check on USCIS.gov website, or you can just Google it. So I don't give you, I can give you the exact numbers, but I remember it's 125% of poverty level, which is really not much, guys. If you're making less than poverty level, that's probably a point of concern. Should you even really try to bring someone now? I mean, maybe wait until you're ready there financially, because it's not particularly the cheapest process again of applying for immigration paperwork, bringing her over here, getting her health insurance, helping her with whatever it is she needs, because she will not be able to work for a while. So you need to be financially ready for that. Another one from Mark. So Anna, does that means there's web in your nose? Yes, that's how PCR test is taken with a swab.
From Deeds 15, hi ladies, do you know how much about getting the equivalent fancy visa for ladies coming to Australia?
No idea. I will not even lie there. I have no clue. So you would need to check with your local immigrations on that.
Pretty much same, probably.
So
Australia,
they don't
Canada, and
I don't think there
US.
was a fiancé visa. There is something else
Oh.
in Australia. So,
Mm.
but again, I don't want to give the wrong information since I'm not too familiar. For some ladies, do you
You do the pay
per date
date.
option in AFA and do I have to message the lady first? You're talking about the individual introductions. We do have individual introductions option. So if there is only one woman you see on the website you want to meet, you technically don't have to write to her. You can just tell us whom it is you want to meet, and we'll do our best to set up the date. We'll show you your profile, but she might agree, might not. Or if you've been writing to only one woman for a while, the same thing. We'll contact her, see if she's willing to meet and available during those specific dates. Yeah, we can set it up in any destination, any location, as long as the country is open. Leonard, again, before
No,
Leonard.
Leonard
Yeah,
here
there's,
from
Leonard,
Thailand.
Leonard's not sleeping. Our wonderful Bangkok office manager, Leonard. Here, if needed, Bangkok is A1 normal. Again, after the third wave COVID spike last month, Phuket is open for fully vaccinated tourists July 1st with zero quarantine. So yeah, guys, it's an option too. So a lot of our ladies, that our website are in Bangkok, but technically they might be able to meet you in Phuket. You can talk to them about it, and you can travel to Phuket starting July 1st. If you travel to Bangkok, the quarantine still apply for now. Again, might change, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Things are getting better.
The monk, hello ladies, what is the URL for insurance that satisfied Ukraine on entry?
I usually refer people to the website called visitukraine.today. Visitukraine.today. Oh, for God's sake.
Okay, just saying. I'll say, Mark, I wonder how many times Anna will get asked out on a date while on tour in July.
The
She
goal
has
is
no
to ask
time.
women in Ukraine out on a date. That's the goal. That's what you guys going there for, okay? Focus on the women. All right. Do we have any
I
more
think we
questions?
should, and I think we have a video.
We do have? No? Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up for tonight. Again, it was great to have that video about David and his wonderful story, his journey. If you guys want to help, his family, you don't have to, but it's definitely up to you. So you can do it using the link in the video description and also in your profiles on the website on the members page. Otherwise, you also can send us for a shoe contest. You still have time. We, extended deadline, so we're gonna announce winners on next Monday.
Next Monday, guys.
Next Monday.
See you then. Good night.
Good night.
How you doing, Dave? Long time no see.
Joe, it's good to see you again.
It's great to see you.
Yeah.
Your story, probably one of the most interesting stories a foreign affair has ever experienced.
Well, it definitely isn't what I expected.
Tell me, start at the beginning, Dave. Where are you actually from? Tell us.
Well, I'm from the New York area, New Jersey. That's where I've lived for about the past 10 years. I was raised in Los Angeles, raised my children in Las Vegas, moved east because of my wife's illness, find better doctors. But ultimately, she passed away from cancer 5 months after my daughter passed away from cancer. To put it mildly, was pretty devastated. I didn't want to do anything. I remember telling my children that I'm going to move into the basement of a 3-flat that I owned, and I'll call them every Saturday, and if one Saturday I don't call them, call the police to come and check on me because I'm gone. And I really just didn't care anymore. But I knew that, because of my religious beliefs, I couldn't take my own life or anything, and I wouldn't do anything like that. But, it was all just, I wasn't happy, let's put it that way. I missed her. That was, she passed away in January of 17. So 2 years ago, a little more now. For many years, I even with my wife, we would look at a foreign affairs website just to see these, these people from all over the world that are willing to change their life.
She didn't get jealous.
No, she used to tell me, "Oh, come look at this one." I mean, it was great. And then you're seeing other lands and where people live and such. Where back when I was young, you weren't allowed to look at Soviet area.
Yeah.
So it was interesting for us both. Never thinking that someday I'm going to actually go on a tour,
Right.
because she wouldn't be with me anymore. And then about a year later, my daughter came home and said, "I need to get up out of the chair and go someplace." She goes, "Take a trip, travel, go do something." She jokingly said, "If nothing else, it'll get you out of that robe and I can wash it for you finally, But I started thinking that my wife and I used to go on trips. We used to take cruises. I don't want to do any of that because I'll be surrounded by other couples and I'd just be devastated because I'm alone. I don't want to go on a tour to Europe because I'm with other couples and I'd be devastated. So what can I do? And I remembered loveme.com. And I got on it and I said, there's a tour coming up. It'll be nothing but single guys. So I'll feel right at home. I get to go to a country. I mean, I don't have to meet women. I mean, I could just go to travel and be a tourist. And at the same time, maybe, interact with some people again. To coin a phrase, get out there. Mm-hmm. I looked at the site. I saw there was a tour coming up and said, why not? I booked the tour right away, and it was great. I mean, the way a foreign affair handles everything, the setups and such, and the schedules and everything was exactly what I needed, what I wanted to look for. And I did. It was a bunch of nice guys. The staff is incredible. I mean, it was just really nice, And I really felt at home and I felt comfortable. And so...
and I do remember you on the first day telling me that you're not ready to date.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we set up something for you just to see.
I just wanted to see. Helen took me around and showed me the center in Kiev, and Helen and Ole both, who work for AFA, were very helpful and understanding. But they did try to get me to. We know a couple of nice girls. Maybe you want to meet with them and such. And I said, well, okay, what the heck, But now I understand when I was 20 years old and used to go to a discotheque how the women used to feel.
Right.
Because, I mean, I had 23-year-olds coming up to me, beautiful women, don't get me wrong. I mean, oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. All the way up to 50-year-olds and everything in between. And I wasn't really interested in dating or anything, but I'm also a realist. I'm not interested in dating a young girl. I'm a little older here. I mean, I'm 60 years old. What am I going to do, So I've already raised my family, So I really, it was somewhat uncomfortable for me because that wasn't really what I was there for. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I didn't want to go to the next city,
which was Poltava.
Poltava.
That's right.
I was not interested in going. I did not want to go to another social.
And I remember you telling me that you didn't want to go.
Yeah, I even said, no, I'll pay for a hotel myself. I'll stay. It's not a big deal. I'll just sightsee around Kiev. I mean, it's fine. This is the capital. And that's really what I wanted to do. And you and Helen with AFA talked me into it. You kept telling, no, just go, just go. And despite my reservations, I said, okay, fine, I'll go. I'll just catch a cab the next day if I don't like it or whatever and come back. We talked about that.
Right.
And I came. I didn't even go on the tour of the city. Mm-hmm. I just stayed in the room. And then when it came time to go to the social with the rest of the group, I wandered on over to the club. And I walked in, and I'll never forget it. I walked into the club, and there was this woman sitting at the corner of a dance floor in the booth, sitting on the end. And I hate to say cliches, but I mean, stopped me in my tracks. And there was nobody else there. And I felt like a 15-year-old boy in high school that had a crush on some girl. My interpreter, Ina, who was wonderful, said, "Oh, go talk to her." And I said, "No, no, no." And then I remember saying, "Look at her eyes." And she said, "Yes." And I said, "They're sad." I said, "She's gone through something like what I've gone through."
Hello, Nina.
Hello, Joe.
How have you been?
Yes, I'm okay.
Good?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You're not too comfortable explaining in detail in
Yes.
English.
Yeah.
So we have a translator. We have Alicia
Yes.
here.
Hello,
Who's going
Alicia.
to translate for you. Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm now start to talk Ukrainian because for me it's been a little more easy. And yes. Я народилася в Полтаві, навчалася в Полтаві, закінчила школу і університет також закінчила в Полтаві.
She was born in Poltava here, then she finished university and finally got married here in Poltava,
Yeah.
her native city.
Потім у мене народилося двоє чудових дітей від мого першого чоловіка. І в 2016 році так сталося, що мій чоловік помер від раку.
And then she got two children from her first husband, and they were very happy together, but in 2016 he passed away, unfortunately.
And you have two daughters.
Yes, two daughter. Yeah, two perfect daughter.
And their names are?
Mariana, it's first, and Miroslava is second.
And they are, how old are they?
10 and 8.
10 and 8.
Yes.
And so how long were you married for?
We be almost 11 years. Yeah.
11 years.
Yes.
You said that he actually passed away in 2016.
Він помер в 2016.
Так, yeah.
Do you mind sharing with us from how did you
Можете
die?
розповісти нам про цю історію?
Так, в 2012 році чоловік грав в футбол і впав. У нього була невеличка травма. Згодом ця травма лікарі діагностували в нього рак. Тобто ця травма спонукала виникнення цієї хвороби.
In 2016, he was playing football and fall down, and they went to the doctors, and he was examined, and they discovered that he had cancer. That injury caused, triggered the disease.
Протягом 4 років ми намагалися боротися з цією хворобою, але хвороба виявилася значно сильніша за нас.
For 4 years, they were trying to cure him, to recover. They were fighting this disease, but eventually the disease got stronger than they were, unfortunately.
Проте протягом цих 4 років ми все одно залишалися дуже щасливими, тому що я розуміла, що коли ти кохаєш людину понад усе, то найголовніше, що він поруч. І тому я намагалася як можна довше бути поруч зі своїм чоловіком.
For these 4 years, they were trying to be happy. They understood that the most important was to be together, and they were happy all these 4 years
Yeah.
being together.
What made you decide to join a foreign affair?
Поруч з моїм офісом є офіс брачного агентства. І одного разу, коли я йшла на роботу, дівчина з цього брачного агентства, вона мені вручила білет на вечірку.
She used to work at the office that was near AFA's office. So once, when she was walking to her workplace, a lady was giving out the invitations to one of the socials, and she decided to go.
Вона мені подарувала 2 білети, тобто я мала піти не одна, я мала піти з моєю подругою, але сталося так, що моя подруга не прийшла цього вечора, і я була одна.
She was given 2 tickets for she and her friend, but that night her friend couldn't come, and she was to go alone.
So your friend bailed on you. But you still went.
Так, я вирішила залишитися, адже я прийшла, тобто в мене не було вибору, я мала залишитися. Але коли я зайшла
Я відчула себе дуже дискомфортно, оскільки поруч було дуже багато незнайомих мені людей, і тому я думала, можливо, я тут залишуся кілька хвилин, можливо, півгодини, і потім я залишу це місце. Тобто не було великого бажання залишатися, бо я ж була одна.
So yes, her friend couldn't come with her, and she was hesitating whether she should come. But eventually she decided that if I have this ticket, I should go. And on entering the venue, she saw that there were so many people whom she didn't know. So she decided, I will stay here for half an hour, and then I will leave because of all these people whom I'm not acquaintance to and feel not very comfortable.
I see. So, but you did stay.
Yeah.
So,
It was like my wife and God brought us together. I knew what was happening in her life before I even said hello to her. I just had this uncontrollable feeling for her that if I can do anything in my life to make this woman happy, that's what I want to do. If I can make the perfect woman in the world for me, that would be her sitting right there. And ultimately, between glances back and forth, because every time she would look my way, I would look away, you know, and every time she would look away, I would look at her. And then one time our eyes met and she smiled at me, and I even beat the interpreter over there to talk to her. Sat down, we talked for maybe 6-7 minutes. She didn't speak English, and we exchanged phone numbers and email. I found out that her husband had died from cancer in between the time that my daughter and my wife had died. So about the same time, 2 months before my wife had passed away, her husband passed away. And she did not want to go to America. She was very, I live here, my friends are here, this is it. And that she had 2 daughters. And it was just nice talking to her.
She asked very simple questions like, what's your name? How are you doing? How do you feel about this party? And but for this few moments, she felt that she was really interested in this person and wants to know more.
Але він трошки порозмовляв і швидко від мене пішов. І я хотіла ще більше з ним порозмовляти, але він вже відійшов від мене.
He was very sweet. He just came and asked a few questions and then very quickly went away.
Yes, it's true.
He was interested. Why would he go?
The rest of the night, I didn't do anything but watch her, and every time anybody would walk up to that table, I don't know why, I just felt like, if you talk to her, so help me, you know. And Ina, again my interpreter, kept saying, go ask her to dance or something. And finally I told her, I said, listen, if they play a slow song, I'll ask her. And again, I guess God heard that, because the next song was a slow song. I said, okay. And about that time, I saw somebody walking towards her table, and I ran from the 3rd floor down to her table and asked her if she would dance. I didn't even get all the words out, and she was already saying yes.
Yes, I would.
you knew it was on his mind.
Ви розуміли, про що він думав.
Так, і перший танок він був особливим, тому що в перший раз в житті я відчула в обіймах Девіда якийсь неймовірний спокій. Я відчула, що я захищена, і відчула таке неймовірне тепло. Тобто я зрозуміла, що поруч з цим чоловіком мені не треба нічого боятися, тобто я буду в повній безпеці, я буду захищена. І це настільки були приємні відчуття, що мені хотілося танцювати майже весь вечір, але музика закінчилася.
And when they started to dance and David took his arms around her, she felt this tenderness from him, and she felt that she was protected from all of the world, and it was such a calming and deep feeling that she felt for the first time in her life, and she wanted to keep dancing in this peaceful state, to continue it longer, but unfortunately the music stopped.
And you had to get back to your daughters.
Yes, I must come back. Yes, I don't have choice, I must.
That night, I was crying because I was thinking about my wife and I was thinking, am I just, being unfaithful to her? Is it wrong for me to have these feelings for this woman that I just now met? I mean, what is going on with me? I grabbed a cab that morning and went back to Kiev to continue my sightseeing and go back to the United States and live out whatever days I have left. But I never let go of that little piece of paper that she wrote her name. Would you get it for me? I never let go. It's in my Bible. I never let go of that little piece of paper that she wrote her email on and her phone number and her name. And I kept it in my wallet, and then when I got home, I even put it on my nightstand in the bedroom. And every morning I would see it, and every night, and I would think about it, and I would pray, and I would talk to my wife about it. And she had emailed me, and not a very nice email, kind of direct and to the point.
She was waiting for him to make a phone call, and there wasn't any phone calls. So she got mad and decided to text him and ask him what happened.
David, this is Nina. Remember me? We met in Poltava. Why haven't you written? And she included a picture to say, this is me. It took me about a week, but finally I couldn't help it. I emailed her, and I just poured it all out to her. I said, listen, I fell in love with you the second I saw you sitting there before I even talked to you. And I don't understand it. I don't know why. I just know how I feel for you. And that the rest of my life I'd want to make you happy if I had the opportunity. And I say, if you don't answer me back, I understand. I wish you the best, etc. But I just felt that I owed it to you to tell you.
When he told you while he was falling in love with you, how did that make you feel?
Спершу я злякалася, оскільки я зрозуміла, що у цього чоловіка дуже сильне почуття до мене, і я була не впевнена, чи на цей момент я готова відповісти тим самим.
At the moment she wrote the letter from David, she understood that she was frightened because she herself wasn't ready for those feelings that he already had for her. At first was fear.
Оскільки у мене чоловік помер всього лише 2 роки тому я думала, що я не готова до цих почуттів. Я намагалася себе якось зберегти, тобто не давати собі можливості відчути якісь сильні почуття, бо це могло мене дуже сильно вразити на цей момент.
And because of her husband's passing away only 2 years ago, from that day when they met David, she understood that her heart wasn't ready for that. She was afraid of new feelings, and she thought that they might hurt her.
She goes, I'm not ready for anything right now. Just want to be friends, if that's okay. And I said, of course, I'd rather be your friend than nothing. For the next couple of months, we communicated first via email and then via text and then Facebooking constantly. And then, one wonderful day, she asked me if I ever thought I'd come back to Poltava again. And I said, through texting, I said, do you want me to come back? And she says, yeah, it'd be nice.
It's true. Yes, because let him understand I won't see again, David. It's not be possible say me stop. I won't see again.
So I made a phone call to the travel agency. I bought a ticket, said I'll be there Monday. So I came and I called her from, I'll never forget, my phone wasn't working, so some other people at baggage claim, they called her for me. And they were talking to her in Ukrainian. I'm here now, and I heard her giggling, that nervous kind of giggle. And I thought, oh, this is good. It sounds like she's happy I'm here. First, she had told me she'd see me on Tuesday. But then she decided she'll stay and she'll see me Monday night. And maybe we'll have a little bite to eat when I get to Poltava. So I guess you could say that we had our official first date, that evening at the hotel. And they have a nice restaurant, and we both ordered Caesar salads, and we started talking to each other via Google Translate.
It's good that you even remember what meal you had.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. It was great. And the next day we went for a walk, and here in Poltava, if you get married, there's one house you have to go to. It's a government house, and they're the one that issues the license and literally, legally marry you. I mean, when they give you the license. And we were walking past this, and she was explaining to me that that's where her and her husband had gotten married, and that's where you get married at. And she asked me if I'd marry her.
She asked you.
Yes, this was Tuesday. I got there Monday, and Tuesday she asked me, and I said, yes, absolutely.
Were you serious?
Я скажу чесно, це було лише наполовину жарт. Тобто, мабуть, я це сказала, бо, мабуть, взагалі я цього хотіла. Так.
To be frank, she would like to say that it was only half joke, but she knew that part of her heart wanted it.
Yeah, it's true.
Nina, let me tell you, if you think I am kidding, I am not. I would marry you right now if you would. But she thought I was joking. Of course, if she thought I was serious, she'd probably run because, you know, we haven't even been to, you know, seen each other for 24 hours. But we continued our walk, and she showed me around a little bit, and we just had a wonderful day, a wonderful lunch. And by the end of the week, because she's a landscape architect, and she had a lot of work to do, but she wasn't getting any of her work done, because every morning I would wait for her on the balcony, because she always walked by this hotel on her way to work. And I would see her, and you know, we'd have a cup of coffee or something, and then she'd go to work late. And then after work or during lunch, she'd come and we'd have a bite and spend some time together, and she'd leave work early. So she said, I'm not getting any work done, you have to leave. And I said, okay, if you want me to go, I will go. She said, I want you to go, but can you stay one more week? And I'm like, okay, sure. And, you know, I'm sure she'll tell you her side of it, but without any question by then, I mean, it was just so obvious. Even the manager at the hotel knew that I loved her and knew that she loved me. And why it happened so fast, I don't know, but the bottom line is 2 months later we were married. And we bought a new flat together, and I want to make sure that Americans out there understand this. She contributed every penny she had towards buying that flat too. It wasn't just gimme, gimme. As a matter of fact, the very few disagreements we have had over the past year, and not even arguments, because we've never argued, have been because she's trying to save money on things that I think you shouldn't save money on. It's like, listen, honey, we can afford it. It's okay, you know? I have definitely been blessed in many, many ways, and not just my wonderful, beautiful wife, but the 2 children that she has given to me, a 10-year-old Mariana, an 8-year-old Miroslava, that I am their papa now. And I love them as much as I love Sophia, the new baby. And I'm actually adopting them so that it will be completely legal and proper.
Dave, Nina, we're with the whole, well,
Almost.
most of the family.
Yes, we have
You want to introduce?
This is Mariana, my 10-year-old daughter. She is wonderful, very smart. And even smarter sometimes is Miroslava, our 8-year-old daughter, who gets kind of temperamental sometimes.
So what grade are they in?
What grade would you call it? You're in 5 and you're in 2 or 3 or something like that? 2? Yeah, 2 and 5. It's a little different than the U.S. Stu. Well, the kids are going to be calling, so the driver brings them.
Okay. Driver?
Of course, they even go to a private school now. It's one of the best in Ukraine. Very good school. And
So, we were having a little bit of a discussion earlier about who proposed to who.
I'm first.
okay,
Which
she
is
claims
great.
that
That's
she was
bonus
first, which was good. Official proposal, I did twice.
Yeah.
Twice, you had to do it twice.
Well, the one time was at the hotel
Yeah.
when I asked her if she would marry me, and she said she would. And then knowing this, I had to go back to the United States to get some papers together because of my previous wife. And when I came back, I had a ring. You wearing it?
Oh no, I feel.
I had an engagement ring, a diamond ring for her. And at the airport, because our daughters were there,
Yes.
I got down on a knee and asked her,
Yes,
right in the
yes,
airport,
yes.
asked her in Ukrainian, which the
Yes,
stewardesses
yeah.
on the airline helped me to learn,
It's a big surprise for me.
if she would marry me. And she said yes, and I put the ring on. I think she said yes just because she was embarrassed and wanted me to get up. But either way, it worked.
Yes.
And I put the ring on her finger, and it was official.
Yeah.
Great. That's beautiful. So, you went to Paris on your honeymoon.
There's a story even there. When she had said yes, I said, I can't match what she's given me. She's given me, because God took away one daughter and a wife, and now she's given me two daughters and a wife.
Three.
And well, three, but yeah, at the time it was two. So I said, but what I can give you is the world. So for our honeymoon, any place in the world you want to go, we'll go. And that's when she had told me that ever since she was a little girl, watching television, Paris was a dream. Coming from a woman that only 3 or 4 times in her entire life she ever left Poltava. Once or twice to Kiev, and then 3 times because her husband was sick to Kharkov. But other than that, it never even left Poltava. So Paris was a huge deal for her.
And
That's
Nina, was Paris everything you thought it would be?
В Парижі було все, як ви планували, як уявляли.
Так. Навіть більше.
Paris was even better than she thought it would be.
Yeah.
great. We spent a wonderful week in Paris. Grandpa watched the kids, and we got to spend a week in Paris.
So when, David, did you find out that you were going to get a third child?
Yeah, considering my youngest is 30 years old, previous to these two, for her birthday, which was December 2nd, we decided to go to Rome. I wanted to go. And we thought this is perfect. It's a quick little trip. We could take the girls and see how they liked traveling, because our goal in life, or mine at the time, was, well, we got some pretty sizable young ladies here. We can travel all over Europe together and just start spending time traveling. So we thought this would be a good test to see how they handle flight, because they've never been on a plane, travel, going to new exotic places, etc. So we went to Rome, and while in Rome, I think it was the second or third day we were at. Second day?
No.
Third?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
About
yeah.
the third day, she woke up and said, I think maybe you should go to the pharmacy and get a test, pregnancy test. And I kind of looked at her with, like most men in the world would look at a woman, especially when you're my age. Okay, so I guess the drugs here in Ukraine don't always work. She read it, I read it, and it said it takes 10 minutes to tell. I think it was, how many minutes did it actually take?
I think not one.
It was pretty quick, there was no doubt. And she came out, and I must admit she was a little bit nervous to tell me. But I tell you, God knows what we want and what we need long before we do. And when she told me at first, I was a little, well, that's going to change things. But I couldn't be happier. And even now, she still says sometimes, you wanted to travel, and now we have a baby. And I said, so what? I have a baby. What's more important than these children?
I have to admit, Dave, from the last time I saw you and now, completely different person. I mean, you can't stop smiling.
Well, this is why. Look,
Right.
Like I said, God took one daughter and my wife, and He gave me a wonderful wife and 3 daughters in replace. So, and I am Papa. To this one, I'm a monkey tree, because she likes to climb all over me and hang on me.
Be careful.
To this one, I just like her teddy keeps jumping in my pocket.
No.
But we have a lot of fun together, but they understand. you know, they do, they love me as their papa, they respect me as their papa, and they're wonderful children. I couldn't ask for anything better, including our baby. I mean, of course, and my wife. Wow.
An incredible story, it really is. Obviously, right now, there are many, many men watching this from the website, you know, and if you can actually tell them, you know, one thing, what would it be?
If you're for real, if what you're looking for and what you want is true, you could find it here with the real woman who will love you more than you'd ever think possible, and that you would love more than you would ever think you can. You just have to give it the chance and be real.
Я хочу сказати, щоб люди ніколи не втрачали надію, і вони обов'язково, якщо вони будуть втрачати надію, знайдуть свою другу половинку.
People should never lose their faith, and if they are searching, they will definitely find their true and only love.
You guys have been great.
Thanks, Joe.
Let's go see that baby.
The only way this could have happened is with divine intervention, to put it mildly. I mean, there's her husband and my wife got together and they went to the big guy and said, listen, we have to get these two together. Because believe me, if any couple need each other, it's them. And let me tell you, I need her so much. She is my life now. And I thank God all the time for her.